Okay, I was just checking to see if I was still recording. I wasn't quite sure. Okay, so this is for chapter one, and this is an exercise we're going to be doing in the classroom, and so I wanted to share it online as well for those people who miss it. These are the instructions right here, and this is my table, my graph. Now, there we go. It goes all the way over. Now you can, there's a little bit of a separation here because when I go to print, I had to print on 2 pages. So I wanted to make it easier for the print. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter in all my data, and then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to create an income statement from that data. I'm going to create a statement of equity and then the balance sheet. So here we go. I'm opening this up on April of 2025 because I didn't want to do it 2028. We opened a business bank account with a deposit of 31,000 in exchange for common stock. So what you're going to do when you read these is you're going to look and see what is the most important. Deposit of 31,000, common stock. So let's go ahead to that table. And I'm going to have, because it's going to drive me nuts if I don't do this. So I'm going to do it. Wow. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm holding down my control key and I'm clicking on all those, and I want it to format so that it's nice and pretty the way I want it to be. And I'm going to do this one and this one as well because I can't stand my numbers not formulated correctly. Okay, so we just got that one done. So I increased my cash and I increased my common stock. My next one is I'm purchasing supplies on account. Whenever you hear me say on account, it's going to be one of two GL accounts, accounts receivable or accounts payable. In this situation, I'm buying supplies on account or on credit. So, and it's 3110. So that increases my supplies, and it's also going to increase my accounts payable. Notice accounts receivable, accounts payable on account. It's always going to be one of those two things. So notice I've got to have at least 2 entries in here. I must always be in balance. So after this, we're going to need to go ahead and I'm going to, whoops. Actually, I'm going to do this. So again, what I'm doing is I'm holding down my control and clicking on all those, and then I'm coming over here, holding down my control and pasting. And all I'm doing is pasting that formula all the way across. And you're going to see me do that in just a second. Because I'm going to grab this entire row and I'm going to paste it down here. Okay, just these are just Excel things that I do. Okay, my journals. See, I paid creditor on account of 1970 on account. Okay, again. So that's going to be a negative 1970. And I must have used my cash, so that's going to be a negative 1970. Now I'm going to come up here. I'm going to click on this row. Okay, left click. Now I'm going to do right click, copy, come over here and paste. And now it's going to do all my addition for me, and I don't have to think and add or do any more formulas. And I'm going to do that throughout this assignment, and just kind of pay attention to how I'm using my Excel. In accounting, in business, period, you're going to be using Excel all the time. So now I'm going to come over here to D. Earn sales commission receiving cash. The amount is 31710. Okay. I'm going to come up here, grab that, copy and paste. There we go. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Now, in Excel, if I really wanted to, I could do a double check here. And what I can do is I can go in here and everything. I've kind of got things in my head already about how they should look. Things you guys probably you wouldn't know, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my own little checks and balances. And I'm going to make sure when I do this, when I get done with all of this, I'm going to make sure it all works out. Okay, so I can see right now I am in complete balance. And my debits and my, well, we don't have debits and credits. My equation is in balance. So let's keep going. It's just something we do. We always double check. Now I'm a little worried about my expenses in the back end, but we'll see what happens. Okay, paid rent on office and equipment for the month of 6220. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be a negative, even though it says negative in the front. Well, it says negative in the front. So 6220. See, now let's come over here. There we go. I've got my entries. Now I have a negative in front of there, so you can automatically assume it's a negative. Come over here, grab, and paste. Okay. Next one is F. Pay dividends of $10,000. So let's come over here. So I'm going to use my cash. And over here. Okay, see, I'm still in balance. I know I'm just kind of copying and pasting down there, nice and beautiful. Okay, let's go to G. Paid automobile expense for the month of $2,980 and miscellaneous $1,430. $2,980 and $1,430. Okay, that tells me my cash out the door was $4,410. Okay. I'm gonna grab this. Paste it right down here. Now, this is what you're going to be doing when you are working with your problems. I think it's the last 3 problems in your homework. This is something very similar to what you're going to be doing. Okay, so now we come over here. Let's go to H. I paid office salaries $3,740. Again, I'm still all in balance. And because I'm going to be lazy, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to click it here. And then I'm going to click it here because I'm at the last one. And I is going to have to be supplies. Determine cost of supplies on hand was 1,050. Therefore, we must have used up 2060. So I need to decrease this. Come over here. There we go. Now, one of the problems that happens when we're doing these tables in your homework is people forget to bring down these balances all the way down. One of the problems, you have to put in the negative or the plus sign into your table. I've already got them plugged in, but just kind of pay attention. If you don't get that negative or plus sign in there, it's going to mark you wrong. So you're going to want to be able to do that. Now, so this here is my ending balance, all of this. The first financial statement we do is going to be our income statement. So let's go ahead and get that started. So this is my revenue account, sales commissions. So I'm going to type that in here. Now, because I'm lazy, I'm going to come over here to the table and I'm going to reference that cell. And then I'm going to put a dollar sign there. And that's because I'm starting a column. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the table. I've got rent, salaries, auto, supplies, and miscellaneous. Oh, no. Okay, no, I do have enough. Okay. So what's my first one? My first one is rent expense. Notice my expense accounts all have the last name expense. I believe salaries, then automobile. Supplies expense and miscellaneous expense. So I'm going to come over here, just because I'm going to be lazy, I'm going to come over here and pick up that rent expense. Pick up that salaries expense. Automobile, next to supplies, and then the last one is going to be miscellaneous. Okay, I started a new column. Always need to start with a dollar sign. I'm going to be adding these up. I need to put an underline in there. I'm doing some type of mathematical function. So now I'm going to do that mathematical function. I'm going to come up here to the magic E, and I'm going to tell it to sum this range. I've got that information here. I'm going to get rid of that dollar sign because it's not needed. It's only when you start and then when you end. There we go, 15,280. I'm going to make that a double underline. I know I'm done. Okay. This, whoops, I'm sorry. This is very, very important. Okay, because we're going to use it when we plug it in over here. So the next thing you're going to do is we're going to do the statement of equity. And so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have my beginning balances. And I'm going to tell you the beginning balances because it just started. It's very easy. And make sure that's formatted because it will drive me nuts if it's not. Okay. We added common stock. They may use a different term. And so in here in my journals, here's my common stock. I added 31,000 of common stock. Should be zero. This should be zero. This is all going to be a dollar sign. Okay. I'm going to add my net income. Oh, I'm getting all kinds of mail. Okay. I'm going to come over here to my income statement. And actually, I'm going to go back because I went to the wrong spot. This is going to go under my retained earnings. Go to my income statement. I'm going to grab that net income. This is why you do the income statement first, because you need to know it in order to complete this one. Less my dividends. And I'm going to make my dividends negative. And that's going to also go into the retained earnings column. Here's my dividends right here. Okay. What I did was I did plus this, so I get a total all the way down. Now, this is going to be my ending balance. And I need that because it's going to be able to tell me what is going to happen with my equity. And I'm going to grab this one right here. These need to have a dollar sign. It also needs to have a double underline, always a double underline when you're done. And there we go. Beautiful. That's a beautiful looking. So we're going to need to know, especially this one. So I'm going to put a green on that one as well. Actually, I should put a green here. And this one will make a lovely little purple color. And we'll make this one a blue. Just because why not? Okay. I need this information so I can plug it into the balance sheet. So the first thing we have is, I already know what we have. We have cash. And then we also have supplies. This is a prepaid expense account. Liabilities is accounts payable. This is common stock, and this is going to be my retained earnings. Okay, I come all the way over here to my table, and I'm going to pick up my cash. Then I'm going to come over to the table and pick up the ending balance of my supplies. I'm going to add these two together. Now, here's another thing. I just started. Need to have the dollar sign. Total assets is an ending. Need to have my dollar sign. I performed a mathematical function. Need that underline. I also need to say, this is the final balance for my total assets. Okay, That's all in there. Beautiful. Now I'm going to start my accounts payable. Go to the table, find my accounts payable. Started the other side of the balance sheet, so we need to have a dollar sign there. This is a new column, so we're going to get that dollar sign. Now I can come to the table, or I can go to the statement of equity, and I'm going to go to the statement of equity. And then I'm going to come over here, retained earnings, pick up that information from the statement of equity. That it's not going to be a dollar sign. However, we're going to do some type of mathematical function, so I need to underline. Okay, because this section just started, this should be a dollar sign. Oh, no, it should. Never mind. Oops, I'm getting, should not be. That's a dollar sign. Okay. And we're going to come up here, liabilities plus equity. Does it balance? It sure does. Okay, this is going to be a double. That's going to be a dollar. And this is going to be an underline because I performed a mathematical function. And there we go. That is how you do a balance sheet. This is very simple, very easy to do. That's what you're going to be having with this chapter. And so I hope you followed along. I'm going to have the Excel files in under your, extra stuff to study for your chapter. And this will help you get done with one of your homeworks.